Today's episode is brought to you by Bush's Fresh Food Market. Calling all foodies, Bush's is hiring. Are you passionate about food, looking for growth, development, and excellent wages? Come grow with Bush's and apply online at bushes.com/join our team. That's Bush's, BUSCHS.com/join our team.
From the Detroit Free Press, I'm Emma Stein with today's Free Press Voice Briefing. It's Monday, April 4th, 2022. When Veronica looks at her 3-year-old daughter Mia, she sees the strength of a nation. Mia was born in Ukraine and spent her first year of life in an orphanage in Kiev. Veronica brought her home to Grand Rapids in 2020, but ever since Russia invaded Ukraine, Veronica has watched her daughter's past get erased. The orphanage where Mia lived has been blown up by a Russian missile, and still, they're the lucky ones. Adoptive parents across the U.S. were in the middle of adopting children from Ukraine when the war broke out. Some even temporarily hosted the children, who then returned to Ukraine for the rest of the adoption process. Now, the Ukraine government has halted international adoptions to prioritize moving the children from orphanages to safer locations throughout Europe. But these parents are in deep despair. They have no idea when or if they'll get their child.
I'm Dave Boucher with the Detroit Free Press. Former President Donald Trump returned to Michigan on Saturday night to boost support for 2 Republican candidates 3 weeks before state GOP delegates endorsed their picks for down-ballot races. The 2 Trump-backed candidates, Matt DePerno for Attorney General and Christina Caramo for Secretary of State, are political newcomers who gained prominence after the 2020 election for peddling misinformation and unproven claims of corruption. Trump lost to Joe Biden in Michigan that year by more than 154,000 votes. But in Macomb County on Saturday night, President Trump said, quote, "The presidential election was rigged and stolen, and because of that, our country is being destroyed." Caramo prompted some of the loudest applause of the evening when she promised those attending that if elected, she would ensure, quote, "your vote isn't nullified by illegal ballots." She didn't specify what she meant, but reiterated unsubstantiated claims that the election was marked by voting irregularities. Taking the stage for a brief speech, DePerno also discussed election fraud. He did not provide any proof for that on Saturday, though. He did say, when elected, that he would take action against Governor Gretchen Whitmer, Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson, and his would-be opponent, Attorney General Dana Nessel, to, quote, "hold them accountable." County Republican parties will select the GOP delegates at conventions across the state on April 11th. Those selected will attend the state party's convention in Grand Rapids on April 23rd and ultimately decide which candidates receive the Michigan GOP's endorsement.
Eviction cases are sometimes referred to as the Scarlet E because they can leave permanent scars and make it harder for a person to find future housing. Eviction moratoriums and millions of dollars in federal rent aid helped keep people housed during the pandemic. But as those temporary protections end, advocates worry about increasing eviction filings. Eviction cases are public, and landlords use tenant screening reports to consider applicants. But advocates say these screenings often contain errors and are not predictive of whether someone will be a good tenant. That's why a group of bipartisan lawmakers in Michigan introduced a bill to seal certain eviction records, including those with judgments older than 5 years and cases that were filed during Michigan's COVID-19 state of emergency. State Senator Winnie Brinks said, "It's never been more obvious than after going through the pandemic in the last couple of years how important it is to have safe, affordable housing."
I'm Andrew Hammond for the Free Press Sports Department. It had been rumored for a while, but at long last, it is happening. Former first overall pick Spencer Torkelson will be on the Tigers opening day roster when the season begins on Friday. The 22-year-old first baseman was the first overall pick of the 2020 MLB draft out of Arizona State. Currently, he is the number 4 prospect in baseball according to MLB Pipeline. Tork's spring consisted of hitting .280 with 4 doubles, 3 RBIs, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts in 12 games. The Tigers just have a few more games in spring training before ending that portion on Wednesday. Today, they take on the Toronto Blue Jays at 1:05 p.m. On Friday, the 162-game journey begins as they host the Chicago White Sox at Comerica Park. First pitch is scheduled for 1:10 p.m. on Friday.
For more stories from the Detroit Free Press, be sure to check out freep.com. That's FREEP.com. See you tomorrow.